Yuka, good to have you with us. You're starting this evening with Europe's largest economy, Germany, moving to loosen its strict debt brake rule to boost defence spending.
Yeah, good evening, Sharon. Friedrich Merz, the leader of the Conservative CDU, who's expected to be the next Chancellor of Germany, announced what he called a historic deal with his party's prospective coalition partner, the Social Democrats, to change Germany's strict borrowing rules. The parties also agreed to create a massive fund to update the country's infrastructure to the tune of 500 billion euros over the next decade. If approved, the proposal would mark a seismic shift in Germany's spending policy. August Hackanson has more.
A massive financial plan to overhaul both the military and economy. Germany's Conservatives and Social Democrats unveiled proposals on Tuesday to set up a 500 billion euro fund for infrastructure over the next decade and a plan to revise borrowing rules to boost defense spending.
In
view of the increasing threatening situation, we're aware that Europe, and together with Europe, the Federal Republic of Germany, must now make great efforts very quickly to strengthen the defence capability of our country and of the European continent.
The parties are proposing to exempt military spending over 1% of GDP from the debt brake, which limits new government borrowing at 0.35% of GDP. To do this, they will submit a motion to Parliament to change the constitution that has enshrined the rule since the 2008 financial crisis, but which many see as outdated and a factor in the country's economic decline.
This loosening of the debt brake definitely means that we are getting more economic growth, that we finally have a perspective again. It's also very important in terms of economic psychology. We're finally getting back to work.
The deal is being hailed as one of the most significant shifts in post-war German history, but it's not without controversy. Opposition parties have vowed to challenge the decision in court if new debt is taken on to fund military spending. Polls show 49% of Germans support loosening the debt brake.
Germany's government bond prices fell on the news, and the yield on the 10-year Bund rose from around 2.5% to nearly 2.8%, meaning borrowing costs for the country will likely rise, Sharon.
Next, Yuka, it's just a day since he slapped Canada and Mexico with tariffs of 25%. Donald Trump is already making an exemption.
Yeah, the US president this Wednesday agreed to delay tariffs for 1 month on cars that comply with the existing trade deal with the US's neighbors. The North American auto industry is deeply interconnected, with parts and finished products crossing US borders both in the north and in the south every day. Car makers have offered to boost their investments in the US, but have been calling for more certainty regarding their trade environment. The 1-month exemption comes after the president held talks with the bosses of the so-called Detroit 3 big car makers. Let's take a listen to the press secretary at the White House.
We spoke with the big 3 auto dealers. We are going to give a 1-month exemption on any autos coming through USMCA. Reciprocal tariffs will still go into effect on April 2nd, but at the request of the companies associated with USMCA, the president is giving them an exemption for 1 month so they are not at an economic disadvantage.
Well, the Detroit 3's share prices jumped on the announcement. General Motors gained 7%, Ford rose nearly 6%, and the US-listed shares of Chrysler and Stellantis ended the day up more than 9%. Hopes of some tariff relief lifted overall sentiment on Wall Street. The main indexes recouped most of Tuesday's losses, although the rise slowed down towards the end of the trading day.
Finally, Yuka, Donald Trump's claiming his administration is reclaiming the Panama Canal.
But the US president referred to a private business deal between a Hong Kong company and an American investment firm, consortium led by an American investment firm, as a major win for his administration. His declaration came after CK Hutchinson Holdings, a Hong Kong firm, agreed to sell most of its port business to a consortium led by BlackRock. The $14.2 billion deal includes a 90% stake in Panama Ports Company that manages the 2 ports at both ends of the canal, as well as dozens of other ports around the world. Trump has been claiming that China controls the Panama Canal, a key maritime passage used by about 12,000 ships last year. Panama's president rejected the US leader's claim in a social media post.
Once again, President Trump is lying. The Panama Canal is not in the process of being restored. Cooperation between our governments requires clear understandings on issues of mutual interest, as has been done. It has nothing to do with the recovery of the canal or with tarnishing our national sovereignty. The canal is Panamanian and will continue to be.
And that's it from the business desk.
Yuka, thanks for all of that. Yuka Roya there with all the day's business news.